Hey guys, welcome back to TomGirl. We are on episode 26. Edwina made it this crazy holiday traffic, so we got to get right to it. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Get lots of photos. Hey guys, welcome. So sorry that we're late. If you guys are not from LA, you don't know what this traffic is like on Thanksgiving weekend. And poor Edwina, you got stuck in it tonight.
Yes, I know, but I live to tell the tale. Here I am,
Yes.
and I'm ready to go.
We made it. Yep. So we're gonna just do this as rapid fire. So this is Edwina Cheer. Where can everybody follow you at?
They can follow me at Edwina Cheer on Facebook, Instagram, and Edwina Cheer also on Twitter as well.
Okay, awesome. Okay, now there's so much to talk about with you, but so just so you guys know, this is going to be kind of a little teaser today, and then she's going to come back and we're going to give you the full interview that we had planned. So I think for today we'll just start to talk about this wonderful book that you just wrote. It's amazing. I read it this weekend. So,
oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
So tell me like some key points. Tell me, just go. I'll let you talk.
Yeah, sure. So I wrote The Mind Diet in response because I've been a trainer and also a sports nutritionist for many, many years. And I found that my clients or just people in general, they would start and stop things in their health or just in life, you know. And so I wanted to write something based on my own experiences on how to achieve your goals and just figure out exactly what the things are that are holding you back. So there's exercises in the book, and then working to reprogram those things or those patterns that we have to, replace them with new habits and new actions that get you towards your goals. Yeah.
Yep. You put that very well said, because that's what I loved about it, is because I find myself one that would use this book right now, going through like, when you want to take things to the next level, or you're just feeling like you're a little bit stuck. One thing you talked about, I just want to check real quick. Anthony, are we getting audio?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Okay, cool. It just like it sounds different on my headphones. Just wanted to make sure so you guys were getting audio from us, since we did this so on the fly. All right. You talk about, some of the things you talk about is you have separate mental moves that you put people through. You want to talk a little bit about what the mental moves are?
Yeah, so mental moves are like exercises that I have for the brain. So, we have we have a workout program for our workouts and for our muscles and things like that, but very few people have a workout program for their mind. So I created the mental moves, and there's specific exercises that I have created and that I use to get over certain hurdles that we might have, and they're all different. So for example, the balloon drop is something that I use to kind of let go of certain things. So I write something on a balloon, and then you kind of have a cathartic experience. Maybe you go to a hilltop or like a mountaintop, and then you release everything that is holding you back, written on the balloon, and I think it's quite cathartic.
Yeah. Can you give people some, because I really love that in the book, can you tell people like some examples of things that maybe they would want to write on their balloon, or they might be sample examples of things to get rid of?
Yeah, so maybe you have a habit of eating sweets in the middle of the night. It could be as simple like that, Or you could be holding on to a past relationship that no longer serves you. So it could be something major like that. And then so if you write that on the balloon, and then maybe journal in on the mountaintop, or journal like at your place, and then I like to kind of rip all the pieces up and then kind of let them go. Although that shows me that that tells everyone that I'm a litterer, but perhaps. But so it's quite cathartic to be able to release those things into the cosmos, and then when you find yourself kind of falling back into those patterns, I like to remember that that's what I've done. I've released that already, so that's in the past, it's gone. So it just helps me in those struggling times or trying times when I fall back into those patterns, that I went through that process, I let that go, that no longer serves me. So yeah.
At various points in the book, you ask people to write fill things out and like calendars and schedules. You want to talk about some of those things that you might ask people to do in the book?
Oh, okay. So based on the mental moves, so there's a whole different bunch of mental moves in there. You find out what specific things might be holding you back, and then you add those exercises into your schedule. So just like we have a workout program for, like our muscles or a certain health goal, we should have a program for our mind too, because in fitness and really in anything in life, it's so important. It's like one of them, like people say, fitness is, exercise is 80% and or it's like the exercise and food is 80-20, but like they forget the mental component, which is like 100. It should be like 100, 100, 100, you know?
So all your past training and working with other people, is that what led you to figuring out that this is what you wanted to focus your book about and what people really needed?
Yeah, because I really feel like the mental component of fitness and really anything in life is so important. So I kept seeing the same patterns, like my clients and also myself, why we stop and start certain things. I dealt with self-sabotage a lot, in my own personal life. I'm a recovering perfectionist, so really identifying when we're standing on that mountaintop and we're just like, should I take that step? Should I act on that goal? Should I, move forward? And then we don't, and we're all, I feel like we've all kind of dealt with that in our lives, and, really identifying why we're stopping and what exactly it is that is holding us back. And then through the exercises in the book, working to take that first step and, seeing that it's okay and dealing with failure, being okay with failure. That's another step in the book. So
I liked a lot of the things you touched on. I wrote down I actually copied a part where you talked about overthinking. You said, welcome to analysis God, I can't talk now. You know what I'm trying to say.
Analysis paralysis?
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm trying to talk fast and because I see this clicker telling me I got 4 minutes left.
Oh, we got plenty of time.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get it out, like all these things. I'm like, oh, okay, condense. Anyway, now I'm wasting time. But you said all the things that you did, quitting a full-time job in financial services to work at a gym after 3 years of arduous study, and you're getting your degrees. So talk about some of the things that you left behind and chances that you took with your career.
So obviously you can tell from my accent, I grew up in Australia. So, basically leaving that country and then everything I've really ever known behind and just basically starting new on the other side of the world. That was although at the time I didn't really understand it, but that was a huge leap into the unknown. These days I'm a little bit more conservative, but I want to kind of find that recklessness in me again. We forget. And obviously, I'm still here and on the adventure of a lifetime. So we forget, we just kind of go in our day-to-day activities and we can kind of switch off. And so we always got to be taking those risks. And I just feel like if you feel it in your gut, you've got to be somewhere, you've got to do something, you just got to take that chance because, and because the universe is telling you that that's where you've got to go. You've got to learn something, you got to, go through whatever process that is. So,
Speaking of adventures, that's something we love to talk about here. Talk about where you talked about in Australia, jumping off the cliff and grabbing the bar. When you were in school.
Yeah, so, it was a school exercise. So we had school camps in Australia and, they take us out to the bush and we just get leeches on us and stuff like that, which I don't recommend. But they have kind of team building activities, and one of my exercises was we have to climb up to a mountaintop, and then we're like hoisted like we're rock climbing, so it's safe, but then it's like we've got to jump out past the cliff and grab a metal hanging bar that's quite far, like you got to do a running jump to kind of catch it. And so I didn't know it at the time, but that exercise kind of it taught me that you got to leap in spite of the fear. And so it's that exercise is always, even though I was very young, it's always kind of stuck with me that, when you're on that mountaintop and you're thinking, should I take that step? And I'm a firm believer in you wouldn't be needing to take that step if you weren't at the mountain edge. So, that's basically what it is.
Yeah. Are there any other major adventures that you've been on or that maybe you want to go on
In terms of what? Traveling? Or
yes, anything. Yeah, or anything that's on your bucket list, like that gives you that kind of adrenaline rush like that you want to try in your life.
Oh, okay. Have you ever seen the movie Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon aspirations. Like I don't feel like my ninja days are over yet. So, you know, I don't teach like so specifically or practice in the discipline of martial arts, but it's something that I really want to get into, and I just kind of learn on the fly. But I'd like to go through that kind of process, like the belts and all that stuff. So yeah, seems
Very
like an adventure for me.
All right, let's talk, since I think we have 1 minute and 30 seconds. Tell everybody about some of the other things you do as well, because you have a whole list. Host, nutritionist, tell
Yeah.
UFC Nutrition, talk about that as well as you can quickly.
Okay, all right. So I started when I moved over here. I started doing the sports nutrition for a lot of MMA fighters. So and the way that it works is that they have to clock in at a certain weight on a certain day, otherwise they can't fight. So and it's always a very extreme weight loss because the fighters, and I don't know why this is, I don't make the rules, I'm not sure why, but they always like to clock in very light, so a lot lighter than the weight that they fight the next night. So usually they're very, very light, because when they step into the ring that next night, they're at least 30-40 pounds heavier, and that makes them a stronger fighter. So the weight cut is very extreme. And yeah, so that's what I do. What was the question?
I didn't realize they put that much weight on overnight. Did you say 30 to 40
Yeah.
pounds?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I knew they went in light, but I didn't know it was that many. That's
Yeah,
a lot.
because and I guess maybe that was the strategy of the fighters that I worked with, but it's like you want to be heavier and strong, like when you're in the cage, it's like that extra little bit of strength and size matters.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I know we're out of time, but in the meantime now, since we're going to get you back here, tell them about the other things you're doing real quick, like where they can follow you hosting-wise, or where they can get more information, like your website, those kind of things. So they can go look you up, and everybody go buy the book, read the book. It's wonderful. I'm telling you, I'm going to be doing the exercises over my Thanksgiving break.
Yay.
Anyway, I'll stop talking. You talk.
Oh, okay. So you can find out more about me at edwinacheer.com, and also please hit me up on Instagram if anyone's listening has a question. Edwina Cheer. Find me on Facebook. Find me on Twitter. And my other passion is diversity. So I have a show and I'm a host on Beige Bay TV. So I like to highlight people in the community of diversity that are doing amazing things. So if you're, and diversity, I call them Beige Bays. It's called Beige Bay TV. So it doesn't mean you're in terms of diversity in terms of color. It could be like an example of a beige bay could be a Caucasian man who grew up in Hong Kong and speaks fluent Cantonese. So it's just like anyone who's breaking those stereotypes that we typically have, I like to have you on the show. And yeah.
Okay. All right, there you go, everybody. Well, thanks for joining us quickly again. We're so sorry, but yeah, it's how it goes out here in LA sometimes with this
thank
crazy
you for having
traffic.
me.
Of course. Well, I look forward to when we can sit down and we'll talk a little bit more too and dive more, because there's so many fascinating things that you do and that you're bringing to the table. So it'll be fun to talk about those.
Thank
All right,
you, JJ.
guys. You're welcome. So one more. You just said was your Twitter one more time where they can follow you on Twitter?
Edwina Cheer.
Okay,
So.
there you go, guys. All right, well, thank you. I'm sorry it was so quick, and we will see you here again next week. Have a great night. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Oh, okay, they can see it.
Now they can. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.